Hello and welcome to What It Is. Here we talk about tarot, archetypes, the universe, energy, and how to move your energy in harmony with the universe. And if you hear the jackhammer in the background, my apologies, but we're going to plow through because it's a morning. And this is the reality of living in a heavily populated area. I live in a very urban environment, and so there are a lot of noises, and I feel like this is the perfect landscape to practice that sense of harmony with the universe. There is no better place than a heavily populated area with tons of interferences to be like a playground or a game board, if you will, to practice new identities and holding energetic states. So in that light and in that energy, let's proceed. So I've been reading A Course in Miracles over the course of the last 200-ish days so far. I've missed a few days, but I'm on lesson 177. And the lesson for today is the repetition, the review. God is love, and therefore so am I. There is no death. The Son of God is free. Now we are one with Him who is. What this is talking about to me is the recognition that we are all just energy. Therefore, there is no death, there is no ending, there is only transformation. And when we tune into ourselves and recognize ourselves as the channel, we have the ability to see that we are one with Source. And yes, we're having this human experience, but we are not limited to our bodies and to the realities that we create through our perceptions, because Spirit and Source are completely unlimited, limitless, infinite potential. And so when we live through curiosity and with a sense of gratitude for what is coming and what might be coming, that is beyond our wildest dreams. Because since we were children, we were taught to limit our dreams, to be realistic, to not shine too bright. Don't be a show-off. Be seen and not heard. Don't be seen. All of these different messages that taught us to shrink and to hide parts of ourselves in order to be liked or to be obedient or just to fit in. And so the seeker, and if you're here with me right now, you are a seeker, you are on the path, or you wouldn't be listening to these types of transmissions from people. And so whenever you're getting this message, this is the right time for you to receive it, because time is an illusion. And when you tune into the present moment with awareness and certainty that everything is happening in your favor, you begin to see the signs and the lessons and the growth in everything, rather than becoming victimized. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So I have my own method of reading. I do 3 across and 3 down: mind, body, and soul, past, present, and future. And then more recently, I've added in the ruins. So let's get into it. So in the mind line, past energy, and the past can be 2 seconds ago, it can be 10 years ago, it can be 2 days ago. It doesn't matter. Time is an illusion. We have 2 of Wands, Dominion in reverse. We have a lot of reversals in this spread. And the way that I read reversals is to look at them and to be aware of where I am trying to control my becoming too attached energetically to a situation or to a circumstance, and then I flip them. Because as you learn how to master your emotions and master your minds, you become an alchemist. And each thing that we experience has an opposite experience that you can choose to experience whenever you want, simply by shifting your attention and your awareness and your energetic state of being. And that's really what it's all about. It's all about tuning ourselves like we're instruments. Our bodies are actually instruments to help us interpret life. And so when we tune our bodies and our nervous systems to having more and more abundance, we are able to call in and to receive that much more. And many of us have these experiences of life being very challenging. I've gone through a lot of challenges in my life. A lot. And through all of those challenges, I sought to energetically transmute what was happening. And it started as a young child. Young children with a high sense of empathy become the transmuters for their families and for the people in their community, because they understand how to alchemize energy. And I was one of those people. I used humor a lot when I was a child. So with Two of Wands in reverse in the past position, there is a sense of energy being suppressed. Because what happens was, like, I used humor as a child. I was the goofy one, the class clown. But how many messages did I get as a child that I was too loud or too much or too obnoxious even, not to express myself so much? And so you hear these messages enough times and you do one of two things. You rebel, or you do both at the same time, but you start to suppress. And for me, I built up a lot of anger. I was angry that people kept trying to keep me down, because a much better way to help someone deal with energy that they are too young to really know how to maneuver is to teach them how to direct that energy. And so when you're in a lot of chaos, there is the potential to learn how to direct your energy and get through that chaos whole, instead of feeling like you have to fragment and hide parts of yourself. So having dominion over your own energy, and that is through the practice of going into the stillness and going into your own inner world and your own inner darkness without a sense of judgment, and finding the light that is always within all of us, because we all are connected to Source. And in the present situation, in the mindset, there is Seven of Wands, Seven of Stones, Pentacles in reverse. So that sense of instability, especially with finances, because Pentacles are all about wealth, accumulation, abundance of material manifestations of wealth and energy. And money is just energy directed through humans, because we decided and assigned a value to it. So Seven of Pentacles in this deck represents failure, but with it in reverse. And so when it serves the reading, I leave it in reverse. So in this case, I leave the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, because it shows that that energy is starting to shift. And the inner foundation is starting to be solidly built towards the capacity to receive greater amounts of good and abundance. And in the future line of the mind is Eight of Wands, which represents swiftness and things changing quickly. but it's showing up in reverse. And so let's flip that energy and begin to lean into the energy of trusting, of moving forward towards what we want, of not suppressing ourselves, not diminishing ourselves. Because when we diminish ourselves, or we people please, or we play smaller for other people's comfort, or even our own comfort, because when you're used to playing small and you're used to suppressing your energy and you're used to putting limits on yourself and putting the brakes on your life, so to speak, you are blocking the universe from giving you all of the abundance. Because the universe is infinitely abundant and actually wants to give you everything that you desire. Because your desires are the map to your highest potential and the fullest version of you, the fullest expression of your energy. And so when we start to hold ourselves back, we suppress our energy, and then it starts to come out in distorted ways and creates more chaos than it does good. So learning how to master your mind teaches you how to master your energy and your emotions, which brings us into the body line. 7 of Cups in reverse. Illusions of success. With it in reverse, it's showing an emotional quality of being able to focus on the emotions that you want to feel. Because when you do that and you hold your awareness on the emotions that you would feel if all of your desires were true, you teach your nervous system to hold that state. And you teach your nervous system that it's safe to have more. So having a gratitude practice, thanking each and everything that is in your life for being there, focusing on the abundance, focusing on the love, focusing on the materialization of all of your desires and how splendid it is, and what a gift it is to be alive. That's what holds you in that center line of receiving from Source. That's what keeps that channel open. So we're going to leave that in reverse. And directly after that, in the body line, is 10 of Cups. Is that fullness. Yes, you can have all the love that you want and all of the abundance that you want and all of the friendships that you want. It is only the limitations of your mind that have been showing you or telling you that you can't have those things. And so you've taught yourself to suppress and to be comfortable and okay with less. But the Prince of Cups coming right after that shows the need to go on the search for the Holy Grail, the return to self, the journey to know thyself. Because when you truly know yourself as a particle of God and you accept that you are the creator of your reality, that's when you can start to change everything. And in the spirit line, we have the 4 of Wands, perfection in the upright position. Catty corner to the 8 of Wands. And the 4 of Wands in this deck, we have 2 going up and 2 going down. Perfection, balance, harmony. There is a sense of perfection in your spirit already. And that sense of perfection comes from seeing the truth of everything. The good and the bad. The savory and the unsavory, the bitter and the sweet. Because life has both. And if you become too attached to the bitter, then we really start to run into problems and we just keep creating from the past. And when you become too attached to the sweet, you don't have balance and it creates instability, softness that can't hold. That neutral position is the best place to be. One that can see the truth of everything and hold steady in oneself. Because they are on the same frequency. Hate and love are opposite ends of the same frequency. The channel is in the center. Non-attachment. Awareness. choice, deciding how you're going to feel every day, deciding who you are, deciding to continue to move towards your vision. Because without that, you block yourself from the universe. And we have the universe in the present position of the spirit line, showing up in reverse, showing you how you cut yourself off from source. So we flip it. And we have 6 of Swords in the future position, in reverse. It's a mental game. Energetics is a mental game because the universe is infinitely abundant. It has everything, and everything is available to you. And I've heard so many times from people, oh, that's easy for you to say. Why is it easy for me? I struggle like everyone else, or I have challenges like everyone else. But I choose to be scientific in my mind about how I observe reality. Because my perception could come from my past and could be attached to a past story. And so I'm interpreting my reality through that lens of disappointment or whatever informed my perception, sadness, loss, abandonment. Unless I choose and decide to see it as an observation and to use it as a map to my internal reality. Why am I thinking that? Why am I perceiving this reality? Where have I experienced the same emotion that is coming up before? And start tracing it back to its origin. And then recreating, using the sword to sever myself energetically from that experience and to start to instill new beliefs. And you can recreate the past and your brain won't know the difference. You can have negative experiences and flip them into positive ones in your imagination and start to teach your brain that is what happened, because your brain does not know the difference between past, present, and future. And then by reimagining those situations as beautiful, loving, fulfilling experiences, starts to change the energetic attachment. So the next time you run into a situation that feels similar or seems similar, you start to react less and less reactively. And you become more neutral. Observe. And then when you start to really get good at holding that energetic state, you can start to lean into, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this challenge. I'm so excited for this thing, this pattern that's coming up, because now I get to retrain myself and I get to use that as fuel towards my vision and my future. And we have the King of Swords coming in, using that discernment and modalities, getting the help, having the discernment to get help when you need it, to find resources and tools, to maintain and to master your mindset. Because when you master your mind, you can master your energy. And you can work in harmony and in unison with the universe. Because you are the universe. Look how it's spelled. Break it down. You-niverse. It's you. You're the creator. And so in the good luck deck, we have judgment. Judgment is awareness. It is the ability to see yourself as the cause and your reality that you're manifesting as the result. We're all manifesting all of the time. All of the time. So your reality is a result of you manifesting through your old beliefs, manifesting through your beliefs. And when you start to create new beliefs, you start to create a new reality. I am abundant. Everything comes to me easily. How good can it get? Universe, show me how good it can get today. What if it gets to be easy? What if everything is working in my favor? What if I'm always attracting abundance? What if it gets to be easier than I ever imagined? How much abundance can I call in? Using your mental discipline to learn to hold yourself in that neutral position, not attaching emotion to your experience. Being good with or without everything. Because you understand that at the end of the day, you are one with everything. There is no separation. And that when we die, we don't get to take anything with us. And so if we see life as the gift that it is, we can stay in that zone of neutrality and truly manifest our desires so quickly, because we can collapse those old timelines and those old stories and shift into new ones instantaneously if we choose to do so. And so let's see what the runes have to say. And I read the runic cross, showing you the past, the future, the basis or the foundation, the challenge, and the best outcome, the highest version of yourself. And coming up in the central position of you is algae. Same thing we got yesterday, protection. The sedges, elkhorns, giving yourself, learning how to keep a space around yourself, an energetic container, so that other people's energy is not bleeding into yours and you're not leaking energy out. Because when you attach yourself to something or a specific outcome, you are leaking energy. So calling your power back into yourself, reminding yourself to be grounded and centered and to stay connected to Source, that you always are connected to Source. And this is what helps you accelerate the sense of change, because you can experience the future in your imagination. And by doing that, you allow for it to come into being that much faster. In the past position, we have Degas, transformation, breakthrough, day. It's the end of the cycle of transformation. It's a major shift or breakthrough we're experiencing here. A 180-degree turnaround. And because the timing is right, the foundation is being laid energetically and built from within, as within, so without. So we have to rebuild our internal state to hold that frequency of abundance solidly, to trust ourselves, to be certain that we can be within the chaos, we can be in the void and find our way back. Dominion, energetically, Two of Wands, finding your way back. And in the future position, Berkana, growth, rebirth, the rune of life process, a form of fertility which promotes growth both symbolically and actually. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, one's relationship to oneself or to the divine. This is a leading rune, and it leads to the blossoming and the ripening of life. And in the basis, Ingus, more transformation, fertility, a sense of new beginnings. with elements of the moon and using one's intuition to guide oneself back to source. Having the discernment to achieve completion and a sense of growth from our experiences. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Learning from life as an experiment. The 6 of Swords is science. Having an experimental quality to life so that you keep yourself moving forward. The 8 of Wands. And Awaz in the challenges portion. Movement. Progress. A horse. It's a rune of transition and movement, of physical shifts. Gradual developments and steady progress. The development of an idea. Transformation, allowing life to be transformed. Through your mindset, through your energy, through your emotions. Your emotions are energy in motion. And they send out the signature to the universe. They vibrate on a certain frequency. The frequency is the rate of the vibration, and higher frequencies vibrate faster. And the faster you vibrate, the faster things change. Doubt and fear are slower, denser moving energies. Love, certainty, excitement, courage, potential. You can feel it in your body when you say these words to yourself. It changes your energetic state. So staying in that high frequency, being prepared to share and nurture the good fortune that is coming in. Because you give what you wish to receive. What do you wish, and start giving before that the desires even show up. Give as though you already have them. That's that state of trust. And Urus, again, in the future position in reverse, the best outcome. Urus has to do with the wild ox, domesticating oneself, bringing oneself into a sense of discipline. Seeing life as a ceremony and disciplining yourself to do that on a continuous basis, regardless of what is happening. Waking up with a sense of gratitude. How good can my life get? Show me how good my life can get. Awareness that situations are temporary, and that the faster we change our energetic state, the faster we can change our lives. And so really giving yourself the space, the energetic space to be discerning and aware so that you can take advantage of the moments as they come. Not to be so attached to your old foundation that you're not willing to let things crumble. Our old beliefs can be used against us. So look for the clues. Look for the clues where you're holding yourself back and you're being attached to old realities. Because that's where you are unconsciously holding yourself back. You want love, but you fear it. You fear loss, you fear abandonment. So subconsciously, you continue to hold yourself back from it. Because on some level, you equate love with pain. And the truth is, it's true. There's pain. People die. People leave us. People change. So there is pain. But you don't have to collapse into it. That pain can be a teacher. The neutrality is the place to stay. So, allowing yourself to be aware of your subconscious programming. Allowing fear to be there. It's okay to be scared. Change can be scary. But what is the opposite of that fear? Love or courage, growth? Lean towards that. And you start to shift your energetic state and allow more good in. And so this is just one of the ways that I am sharing my own process. And if you want to go on a more linear journey, I have created an 11-day experience, which you can really take at your own pace and you can do over and over and over again. Because it's just teaching you to energetically hold more and set yourself up with a solid foundation so that you can manifest whatever it is you want. And so the link for that is below. And so I would love it if you joined. And if it is useful to you, I would love for it to be useful for you. And I'm so grateful for everyone that is on this journey. Whether they partake in the journey with me or they partake in the journey with themselves, with other teachers, always recognizing that you are the teacher, you are the guru, you have a channel directly to source. So you don't need me, you don't need anyone else. You just need that sense of trust. But getting from point A to point B faster matters to some people. It matters to me. I'm always willing to go outside of myself and align myself with teachers or put myself in rooms where my energy gets to expand because I'm around people that are doing brave things. My community sees an expansiveness to life. And so I put myself in those rooms because it helps me expand. I attune to higher frequencies when I'm around them. But I have discernment and can choose to align my energy as I see fit, as we all should do. So with that, my dears, there's always an opportunity to take the journey deeper and just trust your intuition on the process, that you're always going to receive the information that you need in the highest and most divine timing. And so without further ado, I leave you until next time. Thank you for being here. Much love.